In a world ruled by deception, one man vows to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. You think you can hide from me? For Detective Marlow, the hunt is personal. This city has no room for secrets. Why are you doing this? Because I know the truth, but as the walls close in, the hunter becomes the hunted. How far will I go to destroy myself? This January, truth has a price. Marlow's apartment had transformed from a cluttered workspace to something that resembled a command center. Maps, photographs, and lists of names were pinned to the walls, forming a chaotic yet functional mosaic of his growing operation. Cigarette butts overflowed from an ashtray on the desk, the smoky haze lingering as a testament to sleepless nights spent strategizing. He stared at the latest name he'd added to the board, his pen tapping against the desk. He'd reached a point where his own efforts wouldn't suffice. If he was to wage his personal crusade, he needed allies, or at least people he could manipulate. A knock at the door interrupted his thoughts. Marlow opened it to reveal a wiry man with shifty eyes and a nervous demeanor. Benny, a known petty thief, had reluctantly agreed to meet him. Marlow waved him inside and gestured toward the table. "You're late," Marlow said, his tone sharp. Benny shifted uneasily, wringing his hands. "Traffic," he muttered, avoiding eye contact. Marlow wasn't interested in excuses. He pulled out a photograph and slid it across the table. "Recognize this man?" Benny's eyes darted to the photo, then back to Marlow. "Maybe. Why?" "I need to know everything about him. Where he goes, who he talks to. And you're going to find out for me." Benny's hesitation was palpable. "This ain't exactly my kind of gig. What's in it for me?" Marlow leaned in, his voice low and threatening. "You keep your freedom? Or would you prefer I mention your little side business to the precinct?" Benny swallowed hard and nodded. "Fine, I'll do it." As Benny left, Marlow's gaze returned to the board. This was just the beginning. With informants like Benny, he could expand his reach and gather the information he needed to dismantle the network he believed was corrupting the city. Marlow's methods grew increasingly aggressive. He began frequenting bars, clubs, and cafes rumored to be safe spaces for the LGBTQ+ community. He posed as a friendly stranger, buying drinks and striking up conversations to extract information. At first, his charm and persistence yielded results. People let slip names, locations, and events, unaware of his true intentions. But as Marlow's desperation grew, so did his disregard for ethical boundaries. He bribed bar staff for access to private guest lists and threatened others into cooperation. Those who refused faced consequences: anonymous tips to landlords, sudden visits from health inspectors, or, in one case, an unexplained fire inspection that shut down a popular venue for weeks. His partner, Avery, grew increasingly suspicious of his behavior. She confronted him one evening after a particularly tense day at the precinct. "You've been acting strange for weeks," she said, crossing her arms. "And don't tell me it's nothing. I'm not blind, Marlow." Marlow didn't look up from his paperwork. "I'm working a case. It's sensitive." "Sensitive or secret?" Avery shot back. "Because whatever you're doing, it's not standard procedure. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were going rogue." Marlow's jaw tightened, but he kept his tone neutral. "You don't understand. This is bigger than any one case. It's about protecting people." "Protecting who?" Avery's voice softened, but her concern was clear. "You're not making sense, Marlow. Whatever you're doing, it's going to catch up with you." Marlow said nothing, and after a moment, Avery walked away, shaking her head. Her words lingered, but he shoved them aside. He couldn't afford doubt. Not now. As Marlow's operation expanded, so did his paranoia. He kept his informants on tight leashes, meeting them in shadowed alleys and abandoned buildings to avoid detection. Benny's reports were consistent, but Marlow pushed for more. He demanded details on secret gatherings, questioning Benny late into the night until the man's nerves were frayed. One evening, Benny delivered a name: Marcus Delgado, an activist and organizer who had ties to the community Marlow sought to expose. Marlow's lips curled into a grim smile as he added the name to his board. Delgado would be his next target. Marlow began surveilling Delgado, watching him from a distance as he attended meetings and social events. He took photos, recorded conversations, and noted every interaction. But as he delved deeper, something unsettling emerged. Delgado wasn't the villain Marlow wanted him to be. He was passionate, driven, and respected by those around him. His activism focused on promoting acceptance and fighting discrimination, values Marlow couldn't reconcile with his own beliefs. The realization gnawed at Marlow, but he refused to let it deter him. He convinced himself that Delgado's charm was a facade, a clever tactic to hide a darker agenda. Marlow redoubled his efforts, determined to uncover the truth he believed was hidden beneath the surface. Late one night, Marlow sat alone in his apartment, reviewing the evidence he'd gathered on Delgado. The board loomed over him, its chaotic arrangement a reflection of his own unraveling mind. He reached for his coffee, but his hand froze as he noticed something out of place. A photograph pinned to the corner of the board that he didn't recognize. It was a picture of himself, taken from a distance. He was standing outside Delgado's apartment, his camera in hand. Beneath the photograph was a single line of text: "We see you." Marlow's blood ran cold. He tore the photograph from the board, his mind racing. Who had taken it? How had they infiltrated his apartment? He searched the room, his paranoia reaching a fever pitch, but found nothing else out of place. His phone buzzed, breaking the tense silence. He snatched it up, his hands shaking. The message was short and chilling. "Stop while you still can." Marlow's grip tightened on the phone as anger replaced fear. They thought they could scare him off, but they were wrong. He wasn't backing down. This was war, and he intended to win. But as he stared at the photograph, a nagging thought crept into his mind. What if he wasn't the hunter anymore? What if he had become the prey? Want to know what happens next? I won't spoil it for you here. You can dive into the full story in this amazing ebook. It's packed with twists, suspense, and a conclusion that will blow your mind. The full story is waiting for you. Just click the link pinned in the comments section and grab your copy. You'll be glad you did. So, what are you waiting for? Unlock the full adventure now, and let me know what you think of the ending. It's unforgettable, and that's where this episode ends. But trust me, the story is just getting started. In the next part, things take an unexpected turn, and secrets you never saw coming will be revealed. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, so you're the first to catch the next episode. And if you're as hooked as I am, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Got any theories or guesses about what might happen next? Share them, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Gay Hunter. Until then, stay curious and stay tuned.